Welcome to week 6 of Hazardous Waste and Public Law. This week we're going to be covering restoration and the NRDAR program. NRDAR, Natural Resource Damage Assessment and Restoration. Natural Resource Damage Assessment is used to calculate the monetary loss or cost of restoring injuries to natural resources that have resulted from the releases of hazardous substances or discharges of oil. Because this is a combination hazardous substances or discharges of oil, you will see components of NRDAR under both CERCLA and the Oil Pollution Act. Under the Oil Pollution Act, we're going to visit the Department of the Interior and NOAA. In addition to authorizing recovery of response costs from dealing with contaminated sites, CERCLA also establishes liability for damages to natural resources. Overall, the requirements for recovering damages under the second scheme are much tougher to meet than the requirements for recovering damages for cleanup costs. Liability includes damages for injury to, destruction of, or loss of natural resources, including the reasonable costs of assessing such injury, destruction, or loss resulting from such a release. Other aspects of CERCLA Natural Resource Damage Assessment and Restoration are that CERCLA authorizes trustees to bring natural resource damage claims on behalf of state, federal governments, and Indian tribes. CERCLA does not provide for private recovery of natural resource damages, so private citizens are not in the loop here. Government is not required to possess title to the affected resource in order to seek damages, but it must show it substantially controls, regulates, or manages the resource. In addition, under CERCLA, the government cannot recover natural resources damages for harm to private property. As mentioned previously, the regulations promulgated are under both CERCLA and the Oil Pollution Act. Under the Oil Pollution Act, we have the Department of the Interior overseeing discharges or releases of mixtures of oil and hazardous substances. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, oversees discharges of oil. The Department of the Interior classifies natural resource issues into two types. Type A relates to coastal and marine environments, and Type B is all other environments. In addition, the DOI has a systematic approach to evaluating assessments with a 4-phase plan. Phase 1 is a pre-assessment screening. Phase 2 is actually coming up with an assessment plan. Phase 3 is implementing that assessment. And Phase 4 is afterwards doing a post-assessment. NOAA has a similar plan under the Oil Pollution Act and is required to develop regulations to assess natural resources damages from the discharge of oil. This plan is containing 3 phases. Phase 1 is pre-assessment, Phase 2 is to restoration planning, and Phase 3 is the implementation of the restoration.